we about to do it. Watch us get into it. We some lumberjacks, and we needin' wood. Yeah, we going for the sweep, and we mop it up. We put it all on the block, and then we chop it up, 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 chop it up. We put it all on the block, and then we chop it up.
Well, hey, it's October the 1st, and that means, one thing. We're a couple days into fall and a couple days removed from Saturday, and what a college football Saturday it was. We talked about it last week, how good of a show this would be, and a couple of us are very upset. But we're going to kick it off tonight, coming from a lot of places all over the country. Alpharetta, Georgia, Jacksonville, Florida, Albertville or Gunnersville, Alabama. I can't ever remember. I don't know why I can't remember. But I know it's one of those. And I'm coming to see you soon. Great. And then KD, me and you, I think we're from Rome, right? We're in Rome right now. So,
yes, sir.
Hey, Coach, I'm going to let you tell us where you're coming from later tonight, because I'm sure you got a lot of stops on this show. But, hey, let's get right into it. Most shocking Week 5 in college football. Craig, I'm going to start it off with you, and then I'll give mine at the end of this. Go ahead, Craig.
I got Virginia at FSU. I think FSU was looking forward to Miami. Got stung a little bit. I know the one person below me is going to say that probably the Georgia-Alabama game, but, I mean, we knew that was going to be a rock fight. So I just look at strictly upsets when you talk about shocking. So I've got Virginia beating FSU. That was the biggest upset of Week 5 for me.
All right, Coach. Go ahead and tell us where you're coming from and give us your most shocking Week 5.
Well, right now I'm coming to y'all from Florence, South Carolina, and I'm headed to Sangston, Virginia. So I'm in the middle of a truck stop with no lighting and 33 lot lizards around, and I don't know which way to go. But the most shocking thing that happened this weekend is I got to really agree with Craig that, I thought FSU was actually a better team than what they are, but I don't think FSU really has it. So that would probably be my most shocking thing. The only other thing that shocked me is, man, Florida did not lose.
All right. Hey, FSU didn't lose. KD, big gold belt back.
Them Gators.
Man,
oh, the Gators. Okay.
I'm going to keep the train on the tracks, man. It was definitely Virginia, Florida State, double overtime. I disagree with Coach. I think Florida State's still good. I just don't think there's a lot that separates a bunch of these teams anymore. But, yeah, it was pretty shocking, man. I really expected Florida State to physically beat Virginia on both lines, and that didn't happen. So kudos to Virginia, man. Good win.
The Thoroughbred Havoc.
Yeah, guys. Y'all copy my answer. Freaking FSU losing was the most shocking for me, for sure.
Barry.
Terrible ass LSU. I can't, for the life of me, I just don't understand how they keep on going with Nuss. They need to put somebody else in there to motivate Nuss. Guys, I can understand losing, but Nuss, he was hyped up as the front runner for the Heisman. And I'd rather go get somebody from Rockmore High School to play quarterback and put on LSU than his ass. I'm serious, man. I'm off that Nuss bus. I'm way off that thing. He almost made me an Ole Miss fan. That's how bad he is. And, dude, we got somebody behind him. I think it's going to be a good football player, a good quarterback. He played a little bit in I forget what game it was. One of the games we blew out of nobody. He came in, dude. He looks good. I think he come from Mississippi, Mississippi State, Van Buren. Dude, if Nuts can just go down, I don't want him to get hurt bad, but just go out for a game and just let that boy play. And I guarantee you will see a better LSU football team. So to me, the fact that LSU cannot get any offense going, I shouldn't be shocked, but I'm still a little bit shocked that we can't get that together.
All right, well, I don't disagree with you. My biggest shock of Week 5, it's weird. I was coming home from Sonoraville that night. Rockmore High School put it on the Sonoraville Phoenix, and somebody told me, "Hey, you realize Florida State's losing?" I said, "What?" I didn't even know they was playing on Friday night. I thought it would be a Saturday morning game, and I'm like, "Okay, well, let's see if I can get home and finish it out." I come in the house. First thing Dad says is, "Florida State lost." I said, "What?" So I agree. It is the most shocking. But if I had to go with something else, I would say Ohio State's performance at Washington. They went, dealt with some adversity early, and they handled business. I mean, they got it done. Covered the spread by a lot, maybe doubled. So shout out to Ohio State and Ryan Day, even though I hate to say it.
I'm never shocked with how my beloved Ohio State Buckeyes play, and I'm not sure why y'all are.
Yeah, I agree. You are right on that. Hey, UGA lost more on Kirby or more on Alabama. I think this game comes down to more than the 4th and 1 call. I look at it like, to me, this is more on Kirby. Kirby had a decision to make. He even had a timeout to spare. In my opinion, I take a timeout right there, and I think about a good play, but I wise up, kick a field goal, trust in your defense, who had showed out all in the second half. Kick the field goal. You got the best field goal kicker in the country. And honest to God, I know Alabama dropped a wide-open touchdown pass, but they scored on the same drive. We dropped one and didn't score. Georgia could have won the game, but they didn't. And I'll tell you why. We can't beat Alabama. It has nothing to do with DeBoer. It has nothing to do with Nick Saban. We can't beat them. Period. Craig, what do you got to say?
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that one. I definitely got some skeletons in the closet there for the Bulldogs. But I have to say this: Alabama came to play. There was those bye weeks I'm not going to get into the semantics of, hey, that was a great time to have a bye week before Georgia, because it seems like Alabama usually has this wonderful timing for bye weeks. But they had a 370-pound lineman run a screen pass. So they were ready. So, Kirby's got that that monkey on his back with Saban, and now it's kind of passed on along the lines of DeBoer. He's not doing it now. If we were having a conversation about, it seems like when Kiffin played Saban, he just made stupid calls the whole game that cost him the game or cost him even being competitive. I didn't see Kirby doing that. I'm not mad at Kirby for trying to put the dagger in him. That's what you're supposed to do at home on a 4th and 1. You break out your boot, you put it on the back of their neck, and you stomp their teeth out. That's how it's supposed to work. They just didn't get it done. So all the credit to Alabama on that game, man.
Craig, before I take it to Coach, and Coach, you can start your statement with this question too. You say you go for it on 4th and 1. I don't disagree with you, but do you do it with somebody other than Cash Jones? That's like putting me out there on 4th and 1.
So you preaching tonight.
Yeah. I'm not saying it was a good play call. I'm just saying it was a good call to go for it on 4th and 1.
All right, you took the easy way out. I'm going to throw it to Coach. Coach, what do you got to say?
Well, to answer that question before I go into it, that 4th and 1, you got 2 freshman tree trunks out there, and you call a play that they're not ready for in the playbook after they've been straight up road grading Alabama's front. So what you do is run it right behind the 2 big 6'7" freshmen again. everybody knows when you put Cash Jones in the game what plays he's going to run. So the loss to me is on Kirby, and it's on Kirby because I'm always catching flack over this. But damn it, Bobo got to go. Period. He's a great offensive coordinator. He scores 48 points. Yeah, he scores 48 points, but did y'all know he had to catch up 23 of them first? We're always coming from behind because who and their grandmama don't know that Georgia is going to run the ball up the middle, first and second down, and then try to get some pass thrown on the outside by Little Gunner. And then we're 3 and out. So if you look at the way the ball game goes, we got 2 weeks. Hell, Alabama took 2 weeks and find out to take a fat boy and run a screen, and we took 2 weeks to come out and run the same damn playbook. So to me, it's on Kirby with 2 coaches. Stacy Searles, you can't call anything for the offensive line to block because they don't know how to block. All that crap that he's putting together, they can't block nobody. Somebody is always free, and they're always confused because you want this one to move here and that one to move there instead of just knocking the snot out of the guy that's sitting in front of him. You got hogs over there, and you don't know how to use them. So I put it all on Kirby for those 2 coaching hires that, dude, you're going to have to get rid of them and quit being buddy ball. Daddy ball should have ended back in the 80s, but unfortunately in 2025, we still got daddy ball along with buddy ball. When it was Todd Monken and when it was my big man down in Arkansas, Pittman, it was a different Georgia football team. But once you brought Bobo in, I saw the exact same thing I seen with Mark Richt when we had Gurley and everybody else. He's going to score 48. But do you realize in order to score 48, we went into 2 overtimes after being down by 23 at halftime?
Coach, you got a great point. And before I throw it to Barry, I do want to ask you one question. Georgia ran the ball effectively. And I think they kind of got away from Bowers. I don't know how you say his name, Bowers, I think it is. Chauncey Bowers. They kind of got away with him, and it didn't really matter who we ran the ball with. I mean, would you be okay with if Georgia went for it on 4th and 1? Let's say they don't kick the field goal. Because I agree, go for the dagger. Defense had played great all night. In the second half, go for it. Are you okay if Georgia runs it out of I formation and just doesn't get it? Because I think they could have powered through Alabama and got that 1 yard.
Yeah, you could have ran behind those 2 big guys, but the thing about it is this. Look at how well and effective we were running the ball, and then look at how many times we went 3 and out. But if you go back and you look at the game and we scored in 5 plays and we scored in 3 plays and we scored in 6 plays, what did we do on first down when everybody said, Bobo's running it? We threw the ball.
True.
And that did one thing. It made Alabama have to guess. They had to guess from that point on, are they going to run it or are they going to throw it on first down? Every time we threw it on first down, we made drives, we scored. Every time we went to come out and run, we ended up 3 and out and punting the ball. Throw the ball more. You got Kobe Young out there. That's a beast. I'm gonna tell you what Kobe Young is. Kobe Young is Julio Jones in a Georgia uniform. Use him like that. Who else has somebody 6'4", 215? Use him.
I agree. Barry, I said I was going to come to you, and then we'll work our way back up to Havoc and KD. But before I throw it to you, another question for you to start off with. If Georgia catches that ball and walks in the end zone, are we even talking about, is this Kirby? Are we even talking about the offense if Georgia wins this game?
Hold on. You said 2 different things. You said if they catch the ball and walk in, what play?
Well, that would have been the decider. They would have won the game.
You talking about the drop or you talking
the drop pass?
But that wouldn't have won the game, would it?
It would have, yeah. It would have
put them in the lead. It wouldn't have won the game.
Yeah,
if the score would have finished out the way it would have, they would have won.
Yeah, but that was early when he dropped that ball.
No, that was in the 4th quarter.
Was it?
It was in the 4th quarter, but let's be serious. We don't.
Hey,
If Alabama's playing from
we
behind, their
have to
offensive
also-
strategy is completely different the rest of the game.
Okay, I'm
But
glad
we
you said what
also
you
have to
said.
acknowledge that Alabama did nothing on offense in the second half.
Okay, but Kevin made a good point.
Now, he did.
Here's what I say about it. Okay, both of y'all making a good point. The answer is we don't know. Okay, because if he does catch that ball, it does change everything, right?
Well,
it does change everything, but we don't know the next play Alabama gonna do to change everything because Ty Simpson was lighting up and he was doing whatever he wanted to do, right? So we can't really say how Ty Simpson would have responded.
You look at last year. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Barry, but you look at last year Alabama-Georgia game. You know, Georgia scored late, came back, and what do? Jalen Milroe throws it up on a wing and a prayer to Ryan Williams, and he 360s two Georgia defenders and runs for a touchdown. So you don't know what happens.
You don't know what happened, especially at that time. But I will say this: all of it matters, and I'm gonna tell you right now. What we're really talking about right here, guys, when we talk about Kirby Smart, we're talking about immortality, right? Once you win them damn championship games, you feel like you can do anything you want to do. Okay, right now, if you go and look at the three coaches, I believe, in football that has the highest winning percentage, you know who they are? Kirby, Dabo, and Brian Kelly. And what's the only difference in between the three of them? Kelly don't got
weird.
And Kelly don't have a chip. See, you get away with a lot of things when you got a championship. And to me, Kirby getting too cute with it, dude. And let me tell you something. You can't be trying to act like you the man when you lose consistently to Alabama. That's why I kept on saying Kirby need to win these damn football games. Now, we're going to talk a little bit later about a dude named James Franklin. And we're going to talk about what he does in big games. And then I'm going to remind y'all what Kirby does in big games. Because Coach told me last week that the Georgia-Alabama game is the game. And it's the game every year. And Kirby is on the losing end of all of those games. I think he tried to get too cute. I feel like he invincible. He can't be let go. And the real reason is he got those chips. Kirby should have kicked the field goal. He should have kicked the field goal and took the points. Let's be honest. Gunner wasn't lighting it up like that, man. Yeah, the rushing was good, but a lot of that rushing was big runs. So it wasn't like a consistent 10, if you look at the average, it's probably like 4 or 6. I don't know exactly, but it was some big runs in there. But it was some good runs, some powerful runs. I would have took anybody but Cass Jones, and like Coach said, run it up the gut. Live and die with that.
Agree.
He did that twice, guys. We talking about that 1 4th and 1. After that, he did it again. And I think it was either on 3rd down or something. He cast Jones to the side again. I'm sorry, guys. I had to think to myself, why does he keep on throwing it to that boy? I just don't get it. And it's for a loss. We all know who love football. When we on what would the Philadelphia Eagles do? Tush push. Yeah. We're going to run that thing straight up the gut. So this whole thing, not to take anything away from Alabama, because Ty Simpson came in there and played ball. I'm telling you, I wouldn't be surprised in late if he ain't the Heisman Trophy winner. If he keep playing like he's playing, because he's really good. But in my opinion, Kirby Smart, trying to be cute, not really smart, actually dumb in my opinion, lost a big game. I won't say this right here before I throw it to Kevin. You know how bad that is, man, to have your team playing as hard as Georgia was playing? And that drive, that 4th and 1, that was a long drive. Mm-hmm. Them boys out there working all week and didn't get paid. That was on Kirby. If we had kicked that field goal right there, which we don't know if he would have made it, we think he would have made the field goal. Those kids went back to the sideline. They was like, all right, we got a coach on the sideline. He doing what he needs to do for us to win this game. I feel like Kirby lost a lot of respect by doing that.
KD?
So when I seen this topic, I kind of, the easy answer would have been, yeah, Kirby Smart probably is the reason they lost this game. But I do a little critical thinking every once in a while, and I can't. I mean, you look at why did Kirby do what he did? He was a coach under Nick Saban for years. Nick Saban takes them points 10 out of 10 times at the end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
But Alabama, for whatever reason, and hats off to Georgia, that program's astonishing. Kirby's a great Hall of Fame coach, one of the best to ever do it. But Alabama is in his head. And the reason Alabama is in his head is because they have earned every single victory they've gotten against Georgia. Kirby went for the dagger because he knew if he didn't, he was desperate. He knew if he didn't, Alabama would find some way to win that game. So in essence, I really believe Alabama is what drove him to that decision, if you kind of see what I'm saying. So I think, Alabama did something they haven't done in any game. And last season, this season, or the season before, they played a very smart, good football game. They only had 16 yards of penalties. I can't tell you the last time Bama's had under 80 yards of penalty. So Alabama did everything well. I think in my heart of hearts, I do believe Georgia has the more talented roster at certain spots than Alabama. I think it's pretty even, but I think Alabama just played the cleaner game. Kirby should have took the points, but I think Alabama saw it so much in his head that he didn't. So to me, that's telling me Alabama made him. Does he do that against Kentucky? No, he takes the points. Takes the overtime. He knows he's going to beat Kentucky in overtime. But yeah, that's really all I got to say. I thought it was a good game. I was kind of expecting what happened. I came out here last week and talking big about, 20-point victory. I didn't really. I thought we would win. I just did not. Georgia does not match up well with good receivers on the outside at all. And, that's kind of what happened. I was kind of surprised that Georgia ran, I think it was 7 yards a carry. When they went for 4th and 1, man, I told my wife, I said, yeah, they're fixing to run this ball and pick his first down up. So we couldn't stop it. We couldn't do anything. It was apparent all game long that if Georgia wanted 1 yard, they could get it running the ball. But you never know. They may have lined up for run, and they might have had a procedure penalty, a false start. Anything.
But you live with that, though, Kevin. Don't you live with that though?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with both. I agree with everything everybody said. I think Kirby Smart made the wrong call. I just think Alabama, looking across that field at that jersey, was why he made that call.
Well, let me say that before I throw it to habit. I can understand if it was Nick Saban across the field, but if you're telling me that Debo is in his head,
yeah, I'm not saying Debo.
I'm just
university saying, as a whole has been his kryptonite.
Yeah, I understand historically that's true, right? But what I'm saying is, you're telling me that one of the greatest coaches in the most competitive conference and in one of the biggest industries in the world is look across there and see a jersey and he just loses his mind?
Well, I can tell you this. I've seen Nick Saban do some crazy things when it's in the Iron Bowl and he's staring across the field at a 6-win team and it's 42-40 with 4 minutes to go. Gus Malzahn kind of had, he had a winning record against Gus Malzahn, but I think it was 3-2. Like Gus give him fits every time he played. So Nick Saban did some different things too to try to, get that dagger in the heart, and it didn't work out.
That's
kicking at the end at the kick six, the famous kick six, when Auburn runs it back 100 yards. Yeah. Nick Saban lined up for like a 60-yard field goal, knowing good and well our kicker couldn't kick it that far.
109 yards.
Yeah, whatever. It's same difference. Same difference. But it's just like that. It's like Nick Saban should have punted that ball and made Auburn, go the length of the field. But he didn't. So,
Yeah. Have it.
Yeah, I mean, Kirby should have probably. I would have kicked the field goal, but to me, this has more to do with Alabama. Ty Simpson played his ass off, and Alabama has some really good receivers. It's going to be hard for any team to cover those guys, and not to mention Ryan Williams had a few drops, so there were multiple 20, 30-yard plays that were left on the table as well. Like, to me, that's not all on Georgia. Alabama has a really talented passing offense, and Ty Simpson's comfortable with those receivers. He's been spreading the ball around, throwing accurate passes with great ball placement in every game I've watched. I'd definitely say it's more about Alabama than Georgia.
All right. Hey, before we throw it to the next slide, this is a popcorn question, if you want to put it like that. This is one thing I'll say. As good as that game was, would any of you be shocked if I told you that neither or both of these teams will not play each other in Atlanta for the SEC title game? Craig, started off. Who's in Atlanta?
Man, the SEC is so crazy right now. I can't even make a prediction, Dalton. I can't. I mean, I'm scared to even say something. You want to say the Alabamas and the Georgias, but the NIL has got some parity going on in the SEC right now, and we hadn't seen any real bonker stuff yet. I mean, we're just now getting the meat of the conference schedule. Some craziness is going to happen. I'll guarantee you that. So is it going to be, is Mississippi State going to make a run? Who the hell knows? South Carolina looks bad this year, but they did last year too. And who knows? Who knows? I mean, I hate to chicken out on the question. I'll tell you who it ain't going to be. It ain't going to be Auburn. I can tell you that.
And it ain't going to be LSU.
It ain't going to be LSU. Those are the two for sure. And it ain't going to be Florida. We can eliminate those.
No, we won't be there.
But look, man, but Craig is right. We don't know. And see, when we had this conversation tonight, I understand. The mind is an interesting little tool because we want to frame the game how it's always been, but it's so much different. That's why these picks and stuff is all over the place. We don't know what the hell we're doing anymore.
Nobody does.
The teams are a whole lot better. And I think we talked about that last week. One of the questions was, are the teams more spread out from NIL? And yes, they are. I mean,
absolutely.
They are really spread out. Any team, I mean, look at it. Vandy, yes, they've been 5-0 before, but like this is different. I mean, if they go in to Tuscaloosa and they beat Alabama again, people are going to be saying, okay, hey, this is something serious. But here's also the reality. You all said it. In 3 weeks, when we talk about this, we're going to say, okay, we still don't know. And here's why. If you look at South Carolina's record, the next 5 games, they play somebody in the top 18.
Look,
Let's say they win 2 of those games. What happens? I mean, I think this is the most wide open season.
That's the other thing is NIL. You don't have. It's not Alabama being 4 deep at every position they could play anymore. You're not factoring in injuries. You throw that on top of that, especially the grind of an SEC schedule.
I'm going to do it to myself again this year, just like I did last year after the Georgia-Bama game. I think Alabama's ready to make an SEC title run again. Only difference this year that gives me more hope than I had last year is I think we have an absolute leader in Ty Simpson. The players just gravitate to that guy. You can tell in his interviews how much he actually loves the University of Alabama. But here's my prediction, and y'all laughed at me 5 weeks ago when I said it. The winner of Alabama-Vandy will be 1/2 of the SEC championship football ticket.
Mm-hmm.
Vandy ain't no joke. That quarterback is the most dangerous quarterback in the entire country right now. I'm telling you. I'm not stopping it. That kid is a dog. He's a winner. He throws beautiful passes. He's tough as nail. He reminds me of like Lenny Dykstra, if y'all remember him in baseball.
He remind me. I went and
He's
looked.
tough as nails.
Y'all was talking all that about him, so I went and watched some previews of him. And I tell you what, he reminds me of Baker Mayfield.
If you watch his team respond to him,
but a better
really, Barry. That's a pretty big comparison, Barry.
Yeah, I think so. I think he reminds me of Baker Mayfield,
but a better runner.
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
Come on, guys. Guys, that's a lot. Baker Mayfield won a Heisman.
Yeah, but he ain't got a runner.
Last year he torched Alabama.
I'm not saying he's as good now. I'm not saying he is as good as Baker. I'm saying the prototype looks like Baker. I'm not saying he's better than Baker. I can't say that. Remember, I said I came around on Baker. I believe in Baker now. But
when he went into Auburn with a Division II team and beat Auburn, that should tell you. I mean, that don't happen. I don't care. You know.
Oh, he can play.
I mean,
I think it's a 10.5 point spread.
Which
Alabama.
I took Vandy.
I think Alabama's going to cover.
I do too.
Here's the thing. I think that after I saw Bama play against Georgia, I hated it, and I hate to say it. I feel like they can win the SEC.
Yeah.
I feel like Debo has righted the ship. Now, again, it's just a feeling because this year is so different. But one thing, I talked about Ty Simpson so much before the season because you remember he came in from Miro a little bit a couple years ago or last year, whatever. I think it's a couple years ago. But I didn't think he was all of that. But this year, I think he's all of that.
He put in the work.
He looks like the real deal. I love my quarterbacks. I love my quarterbacks. Dude, Ty Simpson looked like, if you get him time, I said it last show. I said if y'all be playing around with that kid, he gonna light you up.
I wasn't high on Ty Simpson. Barry, you remember last year, I wasn't high on Ty Simpson. He was a 5-star, but he came from a really weak high school. You know, they didn't play great competition. He really didn't have a great arm, and he never looked good really in any kind of spot duty he played at Alabama. But I mean, he put in the work, man. You can tell in the off season he's got some zip on them passes now.
And I think Georgia, we can't say that about Georgia. I mean, I think Georgia, we need a little bit. I say we like I'm a Georgia fan. I was a Georgia fan last week. We need a little bit more of Gunner. Gunner gonna have to step it up if he's gonna beat Ty.
Yeah, Georgia's not going anywhere. I mean, let's not.
Yeah, but we talk about winning. I feel like Georgia is good enough to beat Bama. But Kirby got to play a good game. He can't be trying to get cute. But I thought Georgia and Bama would be in the SEC championship. That's what I feel. That's kind of how I feel about it.
Well, we'll take it to the next slide. But, you know, like we said, I mean, we've got three weeks here of crazy SEC football. Who knows what's going to happen? But you know what we said last week? We said that this would happen, some of us, if things started going bad. And it did on Saturday night for James Franklin and Penn State. We talked about it. If they couldn't execute drives and get touchdowns and had field goals, they would lose the game. It just so happened it was in overtime. And hey, here's the question, the real question. Here we are again, but what do we do with James Franklin? Craig, take it away.
You know, he's 4-21 against top 10 teams. 4-21. That's a stat. But the question here is, and I saw a thing today where the talking heads were comparing him to Ryan Day, and I'm like, that ain't a good comparison because Ryan Day did take his licks against Michigan, but he won championship. Well, yeah, whenever Franklin can win a championship, then these questions would be over. Is he got a hot seat? No. I mean, if you really look at the numbers of it, they lost in overtime to the number 2 ranked team in the country. I mean, it was at home. I mean, it ain't a good loss, but what loss is good when you're ranked in the top 10? So, is it bad? I had not even looked to see what Penn State's schedule looks like. We're talking about this now like it's the very worst thing that could happen to Penn State. They were competitive. They didn't get their doors blown off, and it's still early in the season.
Up
They're
17
going to
and
play
nothing,
the
Craig.
Kennesaw State Technical College for the Blind 4 times. So, I mean, they're going to be right in the mix again. You're only trying to get in the top 12, So he's going to have a chance for redemption this year, I think. I could be wrong, but I mean, do you think that Penn State's not a playoff team after that?
Here's the thing, and I'm glad you brought that up, and I'm going to leave this to the end, but I want you guys to think about this question. Do you think, we talk about all this turmoil in the SEC and now the Big Ten. Can both conferences have 3 teams? I'm going to let you think about it. Don't answer now. Coach, James Franklin, here we are again, but what do we do?
Absolutely nothing. Because James Franklin is going James Franklin no matter how it goes. I mean, like you said, you're up 17 points, bro, and now you want to go conservative. Sometimes you have to realize no matter who your opponent is, you got to stick the dagger in them early. So when you got Oregon and you're up like that, you stick the dagger in them early. You don't sit around and just 3 and out it and 3 and out it and 3 and out it and expect to hold a team like Oregon. Because first of all, Lanning may be a great defensive coach, but if you paid attention to his time right now in Oregon, it doesn't look like it's a defensive team. It looks like an offensive team. They go out and they score tons of points. So to me, James Franklin, leave him where he at. I mean, Penn State hadn't been on the map for anything in a long time, and they need somebody there just to keep the Tigers alive or the Lions alive on that end. So just leave him alone and let him be. He's going to always finish where he's going to be over there in that conference. He's not going to get past Ohio State, and he's never going to get past Oregon.
Yeah, they said his year was this year. I think it was last year, and he still missed his chance. KD?
I mean, James Franklin's an average to above average coach. Like Coach Price just said, he's never going to get over the hump against Ohio State. Michigan is going to come around again. So, I mean, he's always going to be at best 3rd place. But, this is probably, I probably shouldn't even say this, but, I wish nothing but bad things on Penn State. They covered for a child molester for 20 years. That entire university did. So they can go to hell.
Well, yeah, that's why I said they need a new face. Because if it ain't that, when you say Penn State, it's LeVar Arrington, and that ain't gonna get you no better. So Penn State needs a face.
Okay. I'm gonna keep it about football. All right. Listen, man. This ain't got nothing to do with James Franklin. This got everything to do with Dante Moore. He is a bona fide good. He is a baller. Dude, I think James Franklin, I'm not sure. I had to go back and check. I had it up a little bit ago. James Franklin, he win games. He probably number 4 in winning percentage. Dude, everybody can't win it. That's how it is. Okay? Look, we all talking about the fact that James Franklin didn't win, but the whole year we want our team to win. At the end of the year, Kevin want the Tide to be at the top. You want Georgia to be at the top. It's hard to win at that level. So sure, y'all telling me, I told you I was going to bring it back up. Y'all told me that James Franklin loses the big games. So does Kirby Smart. The only difference is James Franklin don't have a chip. Y'all was saying the same thing about Ohio State and Ryan Day. Until Ryan Day got him one. And that's why I tell y'all, once you win that thing, you're immortal. And all it is, I don't know if he ever do it because it's hard to beat Ohio State. It's hard to beat Georgia. It's hard to beat Bama. It's hard to beat that group of teams. But it's not about him, guys. It's about, I told y'all, everybody's sleeping on Oregon. We did these shows and nobody said nothing about him. And damn it, guys, he lost in overtime. Jesus Christ, y'all act like he got blew completely out. What is Oregon now? The number 2 team that comes out? Number 1, they got him at? Number 2?
Yeah.
It's a good football team.
I think the bigger thing is, Barry, if that was anybody else's team and they blew a 17-point lead, that would be the conversation. And the conversation against their coach would be even worse. I think you're giving James Franklin a pass.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not giving him a pass, guys.
You sure are.
Listen.
Yeah.
Listen,
Coach Price, tell us the truth now.
Who is he losing
telling you.
to? Hold on 1 second, Coach. Who is he losing to? Tell me. We say he loses the big games every year. Who is he losing to? Just tell me the teams.
Barry, he's 4-26, so 26 teams.
I just want to know them same teams. Them are the same teams. Let's just be honest. Most of them teams are the same teams. And it's the upper echelon of it. Now, y'all want to brag on Vandy.
So he's just the best of the worst.
Yeah. No, he's not the best of the worst. He's a little bit worse than the best.
He said, yeah. That's all I heard.
No, he's a little bit worse than the best. Is that not
He's
fair?
16 and 28 against top 25 teams.
Well, I can tell you who he's lost to since you asked. Notre Dame,
Okay.
Ohio State, Ole Miss, Michigan. I'm still looking. So I mean, he has lost to some good teams, but you would think at 4-21, what is that against top 5 or top 10?
Top 10.
Now, what I will say that top 10. Now, what I will say is, in this day and age, now with NIL portal, he gonna get less grace. He's gonna get less grace now.
To be fair, Penn State hasn't really recruited. They're not a team that recruits in the top 10 in the country every single year. About every 3rd year or 4th year, they'll get the number 7 or 8 class. So Franklin isn't really, when he's playing Ohio State with the absolute most loaded roster NIL-wise that you can buy, he's not playing apples against apples. He's playing his bananas against apples.
Thank you. Now you talking.
So he's not like I said, I think he's an above average coach. He won at Vandy. Nope, not a lot of people can say that.
Yeah.
But I don't think you could put James Franklin at, let's say, I think if he was at Oregon and Dan Lanning was at Penn State, Dan Lanning would have figured out a way to beat Oregon with Penn State's players.
Exactly.
So
I can agree with that.
I just think he's probably around that probably 10th to 13th best football coach in the country right now.
Do you think Franklin would have kicked the field goal against y'all?
I think he would, because Franklin is one of the most conservative coaches in the country. But that's also life to the game.
He tried to throw that in
for James Franklin.
I like how you try to throw that in at the lane, just bust nuts all over Mississippi.
Hey, who has not had this opportunity?
Okay. All right, James Franklin. Here's what I'm going to say about James Franklin, guys. He's what you call the guy before the guy. And what that means, now I don't have a direct football example for this, but he can turn your program around. But he can't get you all the way to that final hump. So what I mean by that, here's some examples. Buck Showalter with the Yankees right before Joe Torre. Doug Collins in basketball right before Phil Jackson. If you guys remember, Jordan couldn't get over the hump for 8 years until Phil Jackson took over. And then finally with Golden State, Mark Jackson, right before Steve Kerr, with
Ron
Steph Curry.
before Urban Meyer.
Ron Zook before Urban Meyer. James Franklin is the guy before the guy. And guys before the guy don't win championships.
That's true.
Have it to cook something up, boy.
Hey, that should have been wreaking havoc right there. That was so fire.
The guy before the guy. All right. I bet you that's what my wife's last boyfriend felt like. The guy before the guy. I might get that on a t-shirt.
Her last boyfriend, dude, that was what, in 6th grade?
Yeah, that's right. About 100 years ago.
Yeah.
What's Steve Dalton at?
I'm right here.
All right.
All right. Diego Pavia has the swagger, but does he have the talent around him to beat the Tide in Tuscaloosa on Saturday afternoon? Hey, I got to throw it to Craig first because he is an Auburn fan. But I will say Diego Pavia, you know, he's like a folklore, kind of like Napoleon Dynamite. You know, I love the guy. The guy is something that you would pay to see, you know, back in the 1970s when there was nothing to do on a Friday night. You would go pay to watch this guy play football on Friday nights at a high school. And just so happens he plays for the smartest school in the SEC. Craig, is he smart enough? Is he good enough to beat the Tide 2 times in a row?
Let me read you his quote from today. I just focus on us, but I know we got to bring it, that's for sure. The crowd, I think, is going to be a big factor in the game, but we just got to play within the white lines. If we do that, if we play our game, it won't be close. That's a Vanderbilt quarterback calling out Alabama Crimson Tide in Tuscaloosa. So you got to give him an A+ for swagger, but is that smart? Probably not, Dalton. Just to go there. Now, to pick this game, it's 10.5-point spread. I think Vandy does cover the spread. I think Bama wins it. If it don't, you know, I still think Bama's a 3-loss team this year. I just don't know where they're coming from yet. I mean, they lost one they shouldn't have lost in the first game. So it's just hard to – I don't know how you run this schedule. One-loss SEC teams are going to be a thing of the past, fellas. It just ain't going to happen. I don't think so. I could be totally wrong on that. We'll see at the end of the year, I guess. That's the great thing about college football. That's why I get so fired up about it, because we just don't know. I can have a Hinkling and I can have I can feel it, but it don't matter. None of it matters. They play. But I think Diego. I think given Alabama bulletin board material, you know, I say that, but then that's kind of his thing. You know, they didn't do real good with Castellanos' bulletin board material against Florida State. So we'll see. We'll see.
Hey, look, man. Alabama, and I hate to say this because I can't stand Alabama fans. Alabama fans is like that fighter that's in the corner. You've been whooping his ass all night, and he catch a second win. And he start that fight. Dude, I don't care nothing about no Vandy. Nothing. I think it's smoke. If he want listen, he gonna have to prove it to me. Okay, the one thing he got going for us, hold on. This is Tuscaloosa. Man, come on, stop. Man, that's Alabama, the whole state of Alabama and all the little fanboys around who've never been in Alabama that love Alabama and love Screaming Roll Tide. You gonna hear that, God gonna hear that in heaven. Vandy don't have a chance. They don't have a chance. I don't care nothing about no Pavia. I watched the kid. He got a lot of heart. But what Mike Tyson say, everybody, what he say, Habit? Mike Tyson say, everybody got something.
Everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth.
And that's what don't happen.
Let me just tell you. Let me tell you Diego Pavia's record when he's a 22-point or more underdog. 3-0.
Well, tell me how many times he played. Okay, has he ever beat Bama? He beat Bama?
Yes.
Yeah,
last year.
Last year.
So one time against Bama, though, right?
That's all he's played him. He's 1-0.
Yeah.
There's a couple of things going on here, right? We all love a good story. We all love an underdog. I love an underdog. Nothing would make me more proud to see Alabama lose because it gives me some material to troll against their ass. Okay? I don't believe it's going to happen. I ain't even getting my hopes up because one thing, guys, you got Debo, his back against the wall. I love that guy, but his back against the wall. I wanted Debo when he first came on, other than Lane to go play for Bama. Even though I want him to lose, I felt like Lane would have. I like Lane, so I wanted Lane to be the coach. But if he couldn't be the coach, give me Debo. But Debo got rocked. He had a rough first year, and second year started off rocky. Now Debo got some win. I think Debo ain't sleeping right now. In a couple of years, Debo gonna look like he older than Lee Corso, because that's the kind of pressure that comes from being in that role. So for me, Pavia is not going to be enough. And listen, and smart don't always translate in football. Sometime in football, you just gotta have what Tony calls some corn-fed boys that's gonna go out there and get in the trenches and play ball. In fact, when we were in school, anytime we played against somebody smart, we want to beat them worse because they were smart.
For the record, as a master troller, I know when Barry is at his master expert trolling level, and this is where he's at. He's talking up Alabama like this game shouldn't even be close, knowing that if we lose by 3 or win by 3, it's going to be, Bama should have won more. So let's just take everything.
I'm not. I swear to God. I swear to God, I would say it for the record right now. I do not believe that Vandy is going to beat Bama. If they do beat Bama, I don't care about close, because at the end of the game, guys, it's about who got the most points at the end of the game. So if they beat Bama, I'm going to be shocked. I'm going to be above shocked.
I'll say this: I will not be shocked if they beat Alabama. I've said it again. I said it earlier in the show. Pavia is that dude. When I read that comment, usually when I see a player say that, it pisses me off, and my first reaction is like, I hope they break his neck, which it shouldn't be a reaction, but it is. It's football. The problem is when I see that dude say it, is that mofo believes it. There's no doubt in his mind that he thinks he can go in and just blow out Alabama. And that guy, that's the most dangerous type of player. And that's just how he is. In Tuscaloosa. I don't care. We lost games in Tuscaloosa, the lesser teams last year.
This is a different team this year, Alabama.
Let me say this. Do you not think, because this is what I would think, he thinks that because he beat a better Alabama team last year.
Oh,
and
I disagree
beat it
with
like
that.
a drum.
No. I totally disagree with that. Alabama was terrible last year.
Isn't it funny? Isn't it funny how he said that I was trolling so that if Alabama loses, I can say something? But couldn't it be also thrown in the reverse that he's trying to talk up Vandy because in case they beat that ass?
Well, hey, what did I say last week?
He's been consistently saying they're good though. He's been saying it like consistently, week over week.
That's why, you know why? Because he want to plant them seeds.
Well, no, Barry, I got to give some push. He's been saying it for like 3 weeks, and he hasn't been talking up Pavia. I don't think Pavia can match Simpson score for score. Simpson's a better quarterback. Pavia has more swagger. Don't get me wrong. The swagger doesn't throw the football. And Ty Simpson is a better passer. They have a better receiving core. Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes you get the hot hand, and he had 6 touchdowns last week, Pavia, but I don't see him doing that against Alabama. If he does, I'll tip my cap. I'll be the first guy to say how great he is.
He had last year.
Listen. I've been saying Vandy was good since week 1. I knew they've got tons of seniors and juniors on that team. And I came on this show last week and said Georgia and Alabama was going to beat Georgia by 2 scores. So I wasn't downplaying it. And Georgia's a better team overall than Vandy. But I'm telling you, I'm not scared of Vandy. I'm scared of one player, and I know how good he is. I seen it at Johnny Manziel when he did it to us at Texas A&M. That kid is a baller. That's all I'm saying. I think we're going to win the game. I'll say it right now. I think we're going to win the game. I think it'll be less than a touchdown, though.
Okay. Well, I think everybody's missing the whole point on it.
From a neutral spot, it's funny listening to you two talk about who's trolling who the worst, because both of y'all are the world's biggest trolls. I'm pretty sure that Kevin Davis is still on Auburn message boards just for trolling purposes.
I am not.
I know that was the thing.
I used to, no doubt.
Yeah, I know. I'm aware.
Well, I'm saying that Alabama going to beat them by 14 points.
I hope you're right.
All I can say is nobody is actually looking at what actually happened last year in the Vandy, Alabama game to have the outcome that they had this year. And we're talking about the players. Look how many decisions DeBoer made in that ball game that made you say, why did he call that? So to me, it's going to boil down to what decision is Alabama coaching staff going to make at a certain point in that ball game? Because when you talk about the matchup, even though Vandy's got some great players, Alabama's got better players, just like they did last year.
Yeah.
So to me, it all boils down to what happened last year that could happen this year. And to me, it was just bad calls made by the coaching staff in certain critical situations that was the difference in the outcome in that game. So to me, it's not the players as much as it is who's going to coach and call the better game.
And, you know, last year, Alabama's offense played pretty good. I mean, Jalen Milroe went for over 300 yards. He had a touchdown and an interception. It was Alabama's defense that just could not stop Pollard. So it really to me, it wasn't a DeBoer issue because he's more on the offensive side of the ball. But,
well, that's what I'm saying. You know as well as I do that if one side of the ball, and I hate to keep bringing his name up, but if Nick Saban was the offensive coach for Alabama and he had an offensive mind, but yet he's still the same Nick Saban, how long would it take before you seen that clip that some cameraman caught that he just went and ripped that defensive coordinator's ass?
Yeah.
And DeBoer is not doing that, which is the reason why the decisions that was made with Alabama, because it was a lot of times where it was like, why did they blitz right there when you really didn't have to, because you was already manhandling, and then when you blitz, you got out of position on them. It's like, and then it's other places like, okay, it's 3rd and 15. Why did y'all sit back? Why didn't y'all go get him? Because they got 15 yards to go get. And then you want to try something on a 4th down. It's like, dog, no, just go ahead and punt the ball. You already done screwed it up. So to me, it's not necessarily on DeBoer as him as the coach, but his demeanor of when your defensive coordinator is calling shit and you're not stopping it, when are you going to take them headphones off your ears like Nick Saban did and get in his ass?
Yeah. And let me make one last point. And I'm not, the reason this game scares me and any game going forward scares me, it's because, you know, there was a long period of time as an Alabama fan. I didn't care who we played. I knew that we could line up and at least run the ball 4 yards a carry. So, and to slow a team like Vandy down, it's a lot like we did against Georgia, except we did it through the air against Georgia. But Alabama still can't consistently line up and run the ball to basically, you know, take the time of possession away. So if we're not completing 80% of our passes and we're not running consistently, then we're going to be in some trouble. And there's going to be games this year where we're going to need to be able to pick up a 3rd and 3.
But Kevin, that's the same. But that's true for any football team.
Yeah,
sure it is.
If you can't run it or pass consistently, listen. I think Alabama this year, because of the group of guys y'all had, and I'm gonna give Tony credit because Tony said Horton, and he was right on with that call. With the players y'all got, man, and with the accuracy and the intelligence, you talk about smart. Ty Simpson is smart. With that group of people, You can win without running the ball. All you're gonna do is get a ball to your players. Them runs, them little short, little slants, hit them in the backfield, let them athletes get busy. Alabama don't have to run this year. I think they can still effectively do the same thing with the pass as you can hand the ball off. That's just my opinion. I think, you know what I mean? I think they can still do it because they got at least four great receivers. This squad here is going to make noise in the NFL.
Well, here's the stat for you to get off the Vanderbilt. Right now, who would have thought in week 5 we'd be having a podcast, and I could say this. Scoring offense, Vanderbilt ranked 4th nationally. Yards per play, Vanderbilt ranked 4th nationally. Third down conversion percentage, Vanderbilt ranked 4th nationally. Rushing yards per game, 18th nationally. Overall yards per game, 494 yards a game.
But you got to go a little bit deeper on that and tell me who they playing.
Well, they played South Carolina.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to say because when we get into
here's my point. You're looking at Vanderbilt like that's your daddy's Vanderbilt, and this ain't your daddy's Vanderbilt anymore.
It's not. It's not good. It's not though. But numbers don't tell the whole story. That's why it was hard when I was looking at the Heisman candidates today. And when you look at these numbers, you also got to go a little bit deeper and look at the strength of schedule. You got to look at that stuff because you can have a whole bunch of production against nobody.
Yeah, but the one thing I can tell you is when you look at a football team like Vandy and you show the school and what they've done, and every player that they show has a leather helmet, dude, that tells you they ain't did nothing in a long time. So you got to be scared of them now.
A little bit.
We good on this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, unless anybody else got something.
Oh, there it is.
Hey, top 5 of Heisman. You know, I'm just going to throw it straight to you guys because I really don't know who I would have on this list right now. Craig, do you agree with this list? Do you disagree with it?
I mean, for the time of the year, you know, is it the top 5 Heisman in week 5 is like preseason rankings. I mean, like it's like wetting your pants in a dark suit. You get a warm feeling, but nobody notices. Who cares? It ain't gonna matter. I mean, I'm still going. I still think Carson Beck wins the Heisman because he's in a weaker conference. They don't play a ranked team after this week, dude. Literally, there's not a team left on their schedule that's ranked.
That's a good point.
So I mean, you're trying to tell me because let's just be honest. It's based on stats. I mean, there might be a Heisman coming out moment of sorts, somewhat, but they give the award away before the playoffs start. So all the voting's already in. It's not like you're going to have Carson Beck go in the first round of playoffs and have a Heisman moment. He don't play anybody to have a Heisman moment. He's going to put 400 yards on everybody and have ridiculous stats. And all these other guys got to play people. I mean, he's got FSU this weekend, which we'll talk about that later. But after that, they don't have a ranked team on their schedule, not one. So it's hard for me to think that he's not just going to go roughshod over the rest of the rest of his games and just go nuts on everybody and have ridiculous stats. That's what I think. So I mean, Ty Simpson again. We talked about that earlier. Should he be getting the hype? He has. He's operated at a high level. The only problem is he's in the SEC. It ain't getting easier every week to week. It does not get easier. It just don't anymore. That's my take on it.
Coach Price, before you answer this question, I want you to answer this one. Are you upset by any means that John Mateer is not included in this list?
No, not at all. The only thing I can sit here and say that bothers me on this list is I got Trinidad ahead of Carson Beck.
Okay.
He played. To me, he's just Carson Beck is just a quarterback. You get him in the right situation with the right team, you know, he can make passes that are NFL type passes, but he don't have the dog in him. You know, he's not going to go for that 4th and 2 or that 3rd and 2 and try and pick it up. He's going to throw that ball even if he throws it away. But Trinidad, he's going to run it. I mean, the only other thing I can sit here and say about this list is I would literally put Vanderbilt's backup quarterback over Arch Manning.
All right, KD, before you answer this question, I'm going to throw you a popcorn.
Yeah.
If Diego Pavia were to come out and have the same showing as last year and do well and beat Alabama, is this his Heisman moment, and does he enter this list?
Yeah, absolutely. I would have Diego Pavia in top 3 right now, especially if he beats Alabama. He should be number 1. I'd go with Moore number 2. I guess depending on Pavia, Simpson, who has a better game, who wins this game, that's probably going to be your top 3. But a guy that not a lot of people are talking about, and is a guy named Ahmad Hardy out of Missouri. Through 5 games, that kid's got, I think, 9 touchdowns and almost 800 yards rushing through 5 games. So he's another one he's a non-quarterback, so he's going to come up this list. And I like Craig said, man, Beck's just got to make it through this weekend. It's home selling for him as far as stats go. So, if I was putting money on it, I would probably go with Beck just because his strength of schedule is kind of trash after this weekend. But if Pavia goes into Tuscaloosa this weekend and puts up 300 bills with a couple touchdowns and a rushing touchdown, he is the clear favorite at that point.
Favorite of what?
Huh?
Favorite of the Heisman?
Yeah.
The only problem Pavia's got is he plays Alabama this weekend, then LSU, then Missouri, then Texas, then Auburn. Then Kentucky, then
hey, you can just slow down on LSU. We're going to lose that game.
Well, I'm just saying there's a difference in the defense that Miami's going to be playing when they're playing.
That's true.
That's my point. This is the thing, and I had a bunch of Alabama fans, and I hate to go back to the day here. I heard so much trash from Alabama fans about Cam Newton winning the Heisman at Auburn. I'm like, how in God's green earth can you sit there and watch that kid play football by himself on an Auburn football team, lead the conference in rushing and passing, and think you don't deserve the Heisman? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, he had 50 total touchdowns that year. 50 touchdowns.
If Parky can pull it off, power to him.
I'd like to point out I was not an Alabama fan that said that.
Havoc?
Yeah, so, I mean, honestly, Craig kind of nailed it. Like with Carson Beck, he'd be my Heisman favorite based on just the overall strength of schedule and the defenses he's going to play. After FSU, yeah, no more ranked teams. So Carson Beck for sure. Then, I would say after that, Pavia, if he's going to be a top 5 contender, then also Dante Moore. And I'm trying to think, that's 3. So and then Ty Simpson. And one guy that I think is going to creep up on the Heisman list, he might not win it, but he's going to creep up at the end of the year. Watch out for Sam Leavitt from Arizona State, quarterback.
That's a good pick.
Okay, well, let me tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God. Dante Moore, Ty Simpson, and just because y'all convinced me, I'll throw Carson Beck in there. Listen, everything evolves. So can the people who vote on the Heisman. I do not see a situation for a few reasons that at Ty Simpson, which I think they could run the table. Look, y'all was talking earlier about, I think it was Craig saying that the SEC is going to be hard to be a 2-loss team or 1-loss team, whatever, SEC. Listen, we got to remember one thing, too. You play one game at a time. You don't play the whole season at once. One game at a time. And that's the coach's job, is to get your team ready for one game at a time. And if Debo is who I think he is right now, I feel something in the spirit. Obviously, I could be wrong. But I feel like the Debo, and this was to the point of who was making this point? Coach was making this point. I thought it was an excellent point. Debo last year ain't Debo this year. He had to adjust, like any of us who start a new job have to adjust. Debo left Washington had to come to the SEC. He was a new kid in town, and people picked on him, right? And FSU hit him in the mouth early, and Debo caught hell. I think he don't sleep no more. I think his goal is to show people that Penix wasn't the only thing that was in Washington when they played well. He had something to do with it. So I think that if Ty Simpson run the table, play good, I think it's going to be hard to keep that kid out of New York. But it's going to come down to Dante Moore and Ty Simpson. I do not think they're going to give it to Jeremiah Smith. I think that's just the honorable mention thing again. It's a quarterback award. So, and I'm not happy. I'm not disappointed with Mateer because he hurt, man. Hey, listen, man. Availability is the best ability. You got to be there to be able to come to the dance. So, for me, Dante Moore, Ty Simpson, and I'll just say Carson Beck because you guys convinced me. But a easy schedule shouldn't get the highest. But got to be some standards to that thing.
Hey, a lot of good takes in that. Let's take it to the next one. Hey, games of the week. We're going to start off with Miami FSU because we know it's going to be it's going to be one worth talking about. We've already talked about it a little bit tonight. Virginia, Louisville, Texas Tech, Houston, I think is one of the most interesting matchups of the weekend. Texas Tech has looked unreal. We said when in doubt, pick Utah. We were wrong. We were all wrong. Mississippi State versus Texas A&M. Another two teams that have just looked, they've exceeded expectations so far. And then Bama and Vandy, we've already talked about that game. Miami FSU. I think this game is more about last week. We're not going to see the same Florida State team. And believe it or not, I think Virginia is better than a whole lot of people think. I'm going to go on a limb here and say FSU gets it done and beats Miami. They're going to be at home in Tallahassee. FSU wins it and really shakes up the ACC. Virginia, Louisville, I'm going with a hot hand. Virginia gets it done. Even though Louisville's looked pretty good this year, Virginia's going to get it done. Texas Tech, Houston, I believe both teams are undefeated. Texas Tech looks solid enough for me. I'm going Texas Tech. Mississippi State, A&M. This one's a tough one, but I am going to go A&M. I think A&M has been, they got a better roster, and I think that's what it comes down to. They're going to beat Mississippi State. Bama, Vandy. Listen, I said it last week. All right, I'll never, ever not pick Bama in a game until we can figure it out. I don't know. You can say we got the best team. We've had the best team for a while. Bama's going to win, and I want to say Vandy, but I'm just too chicken shit to say it. Greg, take it away.
Yeah, I got Miami beating the brakes off FSU this weekend.
Woo!
I'm calling it out. Virginia's last week was that it's real hard to come off a win like that and be ready to go. They're going into Louisville. I think Louisville wins that game. I just have to say I miss watching. Thursday night NFL football has ruined Louisville being on TV every Thursday night. They made a living off Thursday night football for a long time. I sure like watching them on ESPN on Thursday nights. So I hate to see Louisville playing every Saturday now. Texas Tech and Houston. I think Texas Tech probably wins that game, but that's a big old spread on the road, 12.5 points. So I'm probably going to take Houston in the points. Same thing for Mississippi State and Texas A&M. They got to go to Kyle Field. I'll tell you what, if Mississippi State can pull this off at Kyle Field, then I'm a believer. But it's going to take that. I don't think they win. I think they cover, but I don't think they win. And then Bama at Vandy, I got Bama in a close one, uncomfortably close for a lot of Bama fans.
All right, Coach from Florence, South Carolina.
Well, Miami FSU, I don't think that Gus Malzahn is going to sit back. I think he got something up his sleeve for Miami. But on the other end, if Carson Beck comes out and he played like he did last year with Georgia, he'll throw 5 interceptions. But as long as it's a clean game for Miami, I think they'll come out on top. I don't think it'll be as big as everybody say. This might be the one game this weekend that everybody's going to be glued into for 3 overtimes. With Miami coming out on top, I don't look at it being really a one-sided game. I think it's going to be a big battle because not only is it the state of Florida, but it's going to mean everything in the SEC with a team like Clemson nowhere in sight. Virginia and Louisville, I'm going to go with Virginia because of what you done at FSU last week. And like Barry said, it might be the hot hand, but I just want y'all to go disappoint me because I want to put y'all in my truck on some dumpster juice. So go ahead and go into Louisville and lay an egg and watch and see if I don't back up in your driveway. As far as Texas Tech and Houston, like you said earlier, 2 undefeated teams, right? So one phrase we didn't bring up at Mike Tyson was when he fought Spinks and he said 1-0 has got to go. Well, 1-0 is going to go, and it's going to be Houston 0 that's going to go. So I like Texas Tech in this. As far as Mississippi State and Texas A&M, I like Texas A&M because when it comes to Mississippi State, there's only one real bulldog in the SEC. Mutts are not allowed. As far as Bama and Vandy, I say Bama is going to win this game. And they're going to win it in a real convincing way that shows that, yeah, they're back, that what we did last week was not just a fluke, because I'm hoping that we do see them again in the SEC championship, because once again, that gives the 2 teams in the SEC with the most bragging rights a chance to brag some more. But I look for Bama to win this game. I don't think they're going to win it too big, but they'll win it in a convincing fashion.
Well, you are talking Mike Tyson quotes, and let's just hope that on Saturday afternoon, Kalen DeBoer don't say, he broke my back, spinal. and KD, I'm going to let you take it away from there.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick these games like I'm betting them, man. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I think FSU beats Miami straight up. I like what FSU's doing. It's at home. That's a hard place to play it. The stadium is going to be crunk, so I can't wait to watch that game. I got FSU winning that. I'm taking Virginia. I'm laying the points. I think they're going to beat Louisville straight up. I think they're going to beat them by 7 or more. I got Houston. That is a lot of points to lay for Texas A&M. So I got Houston covering that game. I don't care who wins it as long as Houston covers. Texas A&M, I got them beating Mississippi State pretty big. Texas A&M is a good football team. They played good all year long. I like their coach. They're physical up front, both sides. So I took them. I'm a betting man, so give me Vandy in the 10. I'm taking Vandy in the 10. I think Bama wins this game. I don't think they cover.
Hold on, you said what?
I think Bama wins the game, but I'm taking Vandy and the points.
Okay.
And see, and that's where I was agreeing, or I can agree when I said it's going to be a convincing win. When he said 7 points, to me, that's Alabama being up by 10, 2 minutes, 42 seconds left in the game. Vandy kicks the field goal, don't recover the onside kick. Alabama runs out the clock, 7-point win. So I agree. I mean, Katie is right on it.
Coat or Havoc, yeah.
Yeah, so Miami FSU, I'm going to go with Miami. Carson Beck's a 5th-year senior. He's played in big games like this. He's going to do great. Virginia, Louisville, I got to go with Virginia. It seems like they're playing well. They shocked FSU last week. Texas Tech, Houston. This one's a tricky one. It can go either way. I'll go with Texas Tech, though. Mississippi State, A&M. Going with A&M, Marcel Reed's been on fire this year. I expect him to continue to play well. And then finally, Bama versus Vandy. What Katie said about the spread, I agree with that. Vandy will cover, but Bama's going to win. I do think it'll be a hard-fought game. I do think so. I think it's going to be a battle. And the teams are going to be real worn out after the game.
I'm gonna do mine quick. I'm only gonna do 2 games because we gotta get to the NFL side. There's only 2 games on here I give a damn about. Miami FSU. Hey, think about it, guys. That's gonna feel like old school college football. They're gonna get up for that one. You know, I'm picking FSU. Bama Vandy. I think Bama wins big. I do. I'm not buying Vandy. I just feel like now the only way that this game is going to be close if it's Debo come out and try to prove that he can run the ball, and they actually start, getting 5-6 yards of run, and they control the clock and keep it close. But if they're smart, get a ball to Ty Simpson and let him carve them up like he did Georgia. All right, boys. I'm going to try to push this as fast as I can. All right? This is the chopper of the week. Craig, the Lonesome Tiger, still on top. I'm going to give TJ some credit. He ain't move up too far, but the boy did move up. 16, one of them 16 games. But so did Kalen. So does it really mean everything? Just kidding.
It's hard to move down when you only get 5 right the first week.
But I want to give Jon Snow some credit. Because Jon Snow, if I'm not mistaken, did you miss a whole week?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not used to being called by that name, but yeah, I missed the first week. And I'd be in first place had I not missed. But yeah, no excuses. I missed, so that's where I stand.
I'm telling you, Kevin, we ought to be shaming ourselves. Jon Snow missed a whole week, and there we go below him. But
Hey man, I feel terrible.
Hey,
I was saying the whole time, who the hell is Jon Snow? Where Havoc ass at?
Hey, I'm just pulling to Georgia. I'm getting behind by 14, but I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna make it a game.
But here's the thing: we're not as bad as Dalton going. So
hey, I had a bad 2 weeks in a row, and I don't know. I mean, I really honestly think y'all are picking eeny, meeny, miny, mo on a couple of these because, I mean, you go with what your brain says, and it's wrong. And hey, it is what it is, right?
Hey, look, 2 times before we go on, I'm gonna give you a little bit, just a few seconds. We behind schedule to bask in your glory.
All right, so I do want to say when you sent that slide out earlier today, because I'm sure y'all already talked about it, I was already fuming as soon as I read the whatever it was, or did Georgia give it up or something basically versus Bama, and it made me so mad because I'm sitting there going, so we're only going to judge the second half of the game. We're not going to look at the first half and the Alabama had so many missed opportunities in the second half to actually blow that game out of the water, which they didn't execute. Just like Georgia didn't execute at the end. Ended up just being an all-around great game. I do want to say to all the fans that are watching this video, I've never seen a fan base that had publicly – you didn't lead a second in the game. You got dominated in every aspect of the game except for rushing yards. Literally every aspect. Penalties, passing yards, completion percentage, freaking third downs, turnovers, everything. And it just sucks that you lose to a team that you're better than. Well, why do we even play the games? If you just know you're better, why do we play the damn game?
Oh, that's a change of heart.
Because I just don't understand. Like if Alabama and Georgia play 10 times, no, I don't believe Alabama wins 10 times. I don't believe we win 8 times. But at the end of the day, Alabama came into a place that they had won how many straight games, and not only that, Georgia has had 72 straight games where they led at some point in the game. The first time in 72 games where they didn't lead for a second. So 6 years. 6-year streak got broken by Alabama. And then on top of the home win, like, just give the credit where it was due. It was so loud in Sanford Stadium, you'd think jet engines were going across the freaking sky. Ty Simpson just came in and done what no one's ever done to a Kirby defense. He made checks when Kirby made checks, and he was great. If he plays like that the rest of the year, Alabama can win it all. But who knows if he could turn around to Vanderbilt this weekend and throw 2 picks. You never know. So I'm going to leave it at that.
Well, I will tell you one thing. I sure do like Bama fans better when they lose to Florida State.
Well,
hey, do you want to say anything about your current success on this slide?
yeah, I do want to say, usually Barry gives a shout out of the week to the person who wins the week, but I just knew since Two Turnt finished at the top that would get skipped out this week.
First of all, that is incorrect. I don't understand why you can't lie when you know I actually record this stuff.
What's incorrect?
Last week, I said the chopper of the week was Craig, and he was number 1 overall. If you hold on. If you act like you won more games than you was alone. Look at the game, sir, in week 5. That's 4 people that won just as many games you did.
Hey, I finished tied for first this last week.
Sir, that's 4 people that won, and nobody said anything but you.
Hey, look, I'm not saying. I'm just saying. I knew when I finished at the top, I wasn't. It's okay, because look, I listen. Hold up. This is all I got to say about these standings. I said what I was going to do, and I've climbed that ladder every week. And guess what? After this week, Daddy's going to be top 3, and then after that, you know what happens after Daddy gets in the top 3? Daddy takes the lead, and he don't give it back.
He shits in his britches. Hey, let's have a talk about this right here, guys.
Am I the only one that hears a noise?
I don't know who knows that is. They're probably coaching one of them damn lot lizards.
My bad. I should have muted it.
Hey, they're called recreational reptiles, Barry.
It sounds like some gum scraping up against something.
Stay away from the bearded dragons.
Listen, guys. Hey, listen. This is what I want to do with this slide right here. All right? I want you guys to pick one of these. You can only pick one of these phrases and give me a couple of sentences of why you picked that phrase. Okay? So we're going to start with you, Digo. Pick one of these phrases. Because listen, guys, this is an interesting kind of little situation going on up in Philly right now. Digo, talk to me.
Hey, listen, after the lot lizard statement, I don't know if I can get anything out worth of the damn. But, man, that was so funny. Hey, I think this is one of those things where A.J. Brown, he is like, one of those kids that he's good, but you don't really want him around because he's an asshole. And that's how I look at him. Like, yeah, he's good, but really the Eagles don't need him to win a Super Bowl. So if I say anything, trade A.J. Brown, see what you can get for him.
Wow, great.
Now, trade A.J. Brown, question mark, that's a hell of a no. So I'm gonna pick 2 of them. Trade A.J. Brown, no, and shut up and win Super Bowls.
Okay.
That's my 2. And the reason I said that one, because that's all you've been doing. They had the same thing happen 2 years ago. AJ was all pissed off and fuming on the sidelines and this, that, and the other. Well, guess what happened? Guess what fixes that, Barry? Winning.
Ooh, okay. I'm interested to see what the king says. Kevin, let's go.
Oh, okay. Hell no, I ain't trading A.J. Brown. That cat's still getting paid one of the highest wide receiver contracts in the NFL. Why would he want to be traded? You don't trade a guy like that, man. If you trade A.J. Brown, then they can double Smitty. Defenses don't have to prepare for him. I mean, he's a huge part of the Eagles' success, man. I wish he'd just grow up and realize that. So, yeah, I would not trade A.J. Brown.
Okay. Cole, talk to me.
I would say shut up and win Super Bowls, because KD just hit the nail on the head. You take A.J. Brown off the field, Devontae Smith ain't going to be able to do what he does, because that's going to change up all the coverages. So you got to keep a guy like A.J. around. So I would say just shut up and win Super Bowls.
Have it.
This one's tricky because, I mean, All right. Like stats over winning, yeah, shut up and win Super Bowls, but they've been trying that and he still wants out. So that there's obviously a problem going on. Like it sounds good in theory, but if the player doesn't want to be there and he disrupts the team chemistry, everything we're saying means nothing. So, I mean, I understand the questions, but it just seems like AJ Brown doesn't want to be there. And he's starting to become disruptive. So, I mean, yeah, would I trade him? No, but does that mean he wants to stay? That's the real question.
But it sounds like what you're saying, Happy, is the trader.
Well, to me, based on what I've seen from the Eagles, I understand that he takes away coverages, but he's still not a big focal point of the offense this year. Their offense has been run based and based off play action, RPO. So he's not 100% necessary for them to continue winning games. They still have Dallas Goedert at tight end. They'll still have Devontae Smith, still have Saquon Barkley. The team will still have a lot of talent, not to mention the accumulation of picks you'll get in return for A.J. Brown. So would I trade him? No, but that doesn't mean it's the smartest thing to do. It doesn't seem like he wants to be there. He doesn't want to be there. Get rid of him. He doesn't fit the offense the way he wants to fit, so he never will.
Wow.
That's where incentives come in and make it all bad, because the only reason why he pitching fits is because of them incentives that you have in your contract. And due to the fact that, one of my best friends played 11 years in the league, incentives go a long way when you hear stuff like, oh, if I get 6 catches in the first 5 weeks of 20 yards or more, I get another $250,000 bonus. You don't get them catches, you're an ass, because we're running the ball and I want the payday. So them incentives is what the real problem with all these players when they get these attitudes. I don't want to be here because we're not doing this and we're not doing that. It's the extra money that they're missing out on.
Ooh, interesting.
For sure.
Two-turn, talk to me.
Yeah, I'm on the shut up and win Super Bowls because at the end of the day, the ultimate goal is to win a Super Bowl, not to have 1,800 yards in a season. But I do think one vocal point that everybody is missing with this, I think there's actually two. One, I think the media is the worst thing that's ever happened to the Eagles right now because they are solely focused on amplifying what A.J. Brown does, whether he has a good game, whether he don't. I mean, there's some games. There's one game this year. He had a stat of 0.0 separation yards for the game for whichever cornerback he was going. It was an elite corner. I can't remember who. I'd have to go back and find it. But he had 0 separation yards. It don't matter if Tom Brady's throwing the ball. You ain't got no separation. I mean, you're not open. You can't throw it to you. But also, the other vocal point is, are we all just forgetting that the Eagles' offensive coordinator from last year isn't there? Like, Kellen Moore is gone. The new person you have, I mean, you always got to adapt to the new guys. But this is first year in the system. They're winning games right now, and they're not playing great offensively. So when they pick up stride and they do get A.J. Brown more involved, you better watch out. Because, I mean, you see the glimpses of it. I mean, this last game ever, I mean, it pissed me off because I got Jalen Hurts on my fantasy team. He was 15 for 16 at halftime, or 16 for 17, one of the two, with 2 touchdowns. They only threw 8 passes in the second half, and he was 0 for 8 in the second half. So I don't know if they were just calling terrible plays. I don't know if Jalen was off. I don't know what it was, but it seems like it's just a tale of each quarter with this guy, whoever the offensive coordinator is now. So hopefully they get something dialed up where they're actually using all their personnel. But right now it looks like they're just stringing together whatever they can offensively to win games because they know the defense is good enough.
Well, you could let that last comment off because we can go look at some of them defensive stats like I was, and maybe the defense for the Eagles is not as good as has been playing as good as y'all think they should have been playing.
No, I don't think they're phenomenal, but what I mean by that is they get the key stops when needed.
Well, that's the whole thing I was about to say about the Eagles, fellas. The Eagles are a team that wins. At the end of the game, who got the most points? The Eagles. But here's the point I want to make with this right here. these players, y'all say that the goal is to win Super Bowls. Well, he already got a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Now you got to start thinking about your legacy. This man can go and play somewhere else, be a number one, build himself, and prepare for his next contract.
Yeah. Ask Tyreek Hill how that's going.
Yeah. Well, you know, but the thing about it is, but all players are not created equal. Tyreek is Tyreek, right? He's a diva. Maybe AJ is too. But you at least got to consider when this man comes up for his next contract, when he talks to the Eagles or he talks to anybody else, they're going to say, let me look at your stats. They're going to hold the stats against him when they negotiate. So I don't look at A.J. Brown as being terribly wrong in this. But what I do love about this is that we finally see a situation where a team is not as sexy as we want them to win, want them to be. All they do is line up and win football games. And I actually love it. Hey, let's talk about this.
And I do want to say something real quick, Barry, to what Craig said too, though, about Tyreek. I mean, I agree with you. He's a diva. But like you said, it's about making your legacy. You can go have better seasons and not have the success you're having. Because, like I said, Tyreek's first 2 years in Miami are the best 2 years of his career. Statistically, he had back-to-back 1,700-yard seasons. It's not even close to any of the years he had at Kansas City. But he hasn't had the success of winning the Super Bowls. So, I mean, you got to figure out, it depends on the player to player of what's more important. Do I care that I had back-to-back 17-yard seasons, or I care that I won back-to-back Super Bowls?
And let's be honest, Tyreek is he's a freak, and he's different from everything else. So,
just on a side note, could you imagine DK Metcalf and AJ Brown being receivers at Ole Miss at the same time? That's scary.
Hey,
yes, I do. I witnessed it. It was insane.
I'm just hoping that AJ finds his way into Kansas City. Hey, speaking of Kansas City, is the Chief dynasty still alive? Is it alive? And you got to blame this thing on something with these Ravens. Steve Dalton.
Well, you know, I thought we'd blame another game on Derrick Henry for some reason, and we're just buffooned. I mean, Lamar Jackson goes out there and just lays an egg. Really, the whole offense did. And I think, you know, Kansas City knew this was a must-win. I don't understand why Baltimore didn't realize that. I think, you know, I don't know what you got to blame it on. I mean, I think you got to blame it on the Chiefs' record. The Chiefs knew they had to win this game. They went out there and they did it easily. I think we really have to worry about the Ravens.
Lonesome Tiger.
Yeah, I'm not throwing the towel on the Ravens just yet. I mean, we'll see how banged up Lamar is. You know, he got a little knee stinger in the last game, so we'll see how bad he's banged up. If they don't have Lamar Jackson, they're in trouble. But that being said, I mean, you know, it's the AFC North right now. The Steelers are leading that, so it's hard for me to. I mean, who else in the conference other than the Steelers is a problem, right? The Bengals. I mean, the Bengals got a better record than the Ravens right now. Don't get me wrong, but you got the Steelers, the Bengals, the Ravens, and the Browns. I mean, that's a pretty low bar. I hate to say that. It all depends on Lamar Jackson. Is the dynasty over? God, I hope so, because I've said it before. I'm sick of Kermit the Frog. I've been for a long time. Probably not, because he's a freak of nature. If anybody can do it, Andy Reid and Mahomes will turn around and win 13 in a row or something stupid and win another Super Bowl and make me angry. I don't see that happening. I hope it doesn't happen. But that's the team that could do it. But I'm more worried about the Kansas City Chiefs getting old than I am the Ravens, to be honest with you.
Okay, KD, will you talk some sense to these people? Who's the blame? Who's the blame for this what's going on with these Ravens?
To me, it's easy. It's John Harbaugh. I think he gets a pass because of his brother's last name.
Thank you.
He's just not. He's you know, any other coach that has the talent. I mean, Lamar Jackson is an utterly world talent. Derrick Henry is an otherly world talent at running back. The defense is always solid. If any other coach in the NFL had what he has and continuously shits the bed, so to speak, they're gone. And I think Harbaugh gets a pass because his brother's a great coach. And Harbaugh is not a terrible coach because he wins 9, 10, 11 games a year, but he's just never going to get over the hump. So I think he's to blame. I don't think it's hard. I don't think it's Lamar. I don't think it's Derrick Henry. As far as the Chiefs go, I do think the dynasty is dead this season. Somebody just pointed out, I think Havoc, or maybe it was Coach, but boy, what if the Eagles could trade AJ Brown to the Chiefs? Give give Mahomes a target out there.
That was me.
Okay, Barry, that's a good call, man. I mean, that would be great. That would be a bad. Eagles could get maybe a first round pick and a Pro Bowl player for AJ Brown. So I think it's dead right now, but we'll see. I'm never going to count out Patrick Mahomes.
Well, King, I'm really glad you said that because I do think that. Let me ask you this: Have John? Has he won a Super Bowl? He hasn't, has he?
Yeah. He beat he beat Jim Harbaugh. Yeah, when it was 49ers.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ray Rice.
Okay, so that's what I thought. So remember what I said with Kirby Smart and the immortality that you get when you win these championships. He's living off of that, guys. I'm glad Kevin said what he said because I do believe that this coach, I think he's a player's coach. And sometimes player coaches mess up a lot of things because they try to appease the players. What you got, Coach?
Well, this is what I got. What did you just got through telling me about or telling us about coaches and teams that win the championships that they're what?
Immortal.
Yeah, you said they were immortal, right?
Right.
Well, that's exactly what's going on in Kansas City. It's over with. You won your chips. You're not going to match up anymore with anybody like that. Steelers is actually the ones that's going to really surprise us this year in the AFC. Nobody else is really competing. The only other team that I got there is the other Harbaugh brother, and what he's doing with the Chargers. But no other than that, to me it's over with for the Kansas City Chiefs and the Ravens. Y'all not gonna be there either. It's gonna be somebody totally new that we're gonna be talking about in the Super Bowl and in the AFC Championship when it's all over and said and done with.
Ooh, that's a big talk right there. How let me have it?
Okay, so I want to bring up that last week when we talked about Derrick Henry, I was the one that brought up John Harbaugh's coaching blunders. So I brought that up last week. I want to bring that up. And I agree 100% with what KD said. He does get a pass. And let me bring up the 2012 playoffs when Joe Flacco saved his job. They were going to lose to Denver in overtime. And Denver had a safety miss a coverage, and Jacoby Jones got wide open deep, and Joe Flacco saved John Harbaugh's job. So I 100% agree with that. Now, is the Chiefs dynasty over? No, they're starting to get healthier. Rashee Rice is coming back from suspension. Xavier Worthy's coming back. And who knows if they make a trade at the trade deadline. So for right now, no, the Chiefs dynasty is not over. And yes, John Harbaugh absolutely does get a pass.
Boy, I love it when people agree with me. What's up, Two Turns?
Havoc, stop sharing the breakfast with Barry, man. Give me some of your eggs and bacon.
Yeah, it's no secret to the people that know me that I used to be a huge Ravens fan growing up. When they won that Super Bowl, I mean, that's the middle of my fandom because, I loved Ed Reed growing up. I loved Jamal Lewis. Even Kyle Bowler, he was terrible. He was god-awful. But I loved him for some reason growing up, and I loved the Ravens. But whenever Ray Rice got kicked off the team, that's when I stopped with the Ravens. But just background information. I think it's fully coaching is what's wrong with the Ravens. The defense is terrible, which makes no sense because they've been a top 5 defense for at least 5 years. They're awful. Outside of Marlon Humphrey, they are terrible. You got the best running back in the league over the last 10 years, and he has 8 carries, and he's averaging 6 yards a carry, and he doesn't get the ball anymore. Make it easier on your quarterback. If Lamar's clearly struggling, which I didn't get to watch the game, so I don't know how he started out. If they are a run-first team, make it easier, because if Derrick Henry's getting going, you're not stopping Lamar when he drops back. It ain't happening. Period. End of story.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Look, we make the same mistake every year. I was one of them. Y'all got to stop saying this is over with the Chiefs, because it ain't. It ain't over until that big cheeseburger eating head coach that leaves his feet imprints in every ground he walks on retires. Because, I mean, like Havoc just said, Xavier Worthy just came back. It's not a coincidence that he comes back and their offense looks the best it's looked all year, and they do what they do. And to Coach Price's point, the Chargers, just like Harbaugh and the Ravens, the other Harbaugh's a fraud too. I think they're both great coaches, but they're not going to win the big one in this day and age anymore. The Chargers just got beat by the dumpster juice of the NFL, the Giants, and it really wasn't close, and they made it look close at the end. The Giants had whooped them up and down the field. Justin Herbert has been an absolute fraud since week 1. He had that one amazing performance that gets us flowing every single year, where everybody hops on the Justin Herbert train, and then he goes right back to mediocrity the next 3 games. I mean,
I
it
think
is
he's
what it
3-1.
is.
I think he's 3-1.
3-1. Harbor, Justin Herbert.
Yeah, the record, but I'm talking about his play. Go look at his play since week 1 and tell me the difference between week 1 and then look at the next 3 games. He's averaging almost 100 less yards per game. I think he's got as many interceptions as he does touchdowns. Herbert is not playing good right now, and Najee Harris tore his Achilles, so they only got one running back right now, Hampton, who is got the talent, but he's not going off right now. I mean, so the door is open for the Chiefs, is what I'm getting at. If you get to this game, are you trusting Patrick Mahomes, or are you trusting Justin Herbert to get you over the hump?
Hey, well, I'm gonna tell you right now. Every once in a while, Tony will go into the kitchen and he'll cook a little bit. I'm gonna save my opinion at a later time. All right, Happy, I'm gonna get this to you first. I know it was a tie, but who really won?
Nobody. There's no moral victories. If you don't win the ball game, you didn't win. A tie is a tie. It's not a win. There's no fool's gold. There's no moral victories. Santa Claus isn't real. So no, it's a tie. It's not a real win.
Hold on. Unmute. But that was a transaction that took place. Okay.
You're saying the Micah Parsons trade?
Let's go. Let's try it again.
Yeah. Well, they obviously won the trade, and I would love to still have Micah, but overall, yeah, that having a tie, no, is not a win.
That's right. Okay, Steve Dawson, what do you think on this?
You know, I watched this game, and I was really shocked with the Cowboys' offense. I mean, you know, we've heard talks about their defense all year, and then of course they trade their best player away to the team they played against. But I would say the offense looked really good. Now, would having Micah Parsons on their defense win them this game? I don't know. So I think it was a tie. But the Green Bay Packers will win this trade.
Lonesome Tiger.
Yeah, you know who won? Jerry Jones won.
Mm-hmm.
Like he does. I was just looking at the stat. It was pretty crazy. Parsons had 1 sack, 3 tackles, 3 quarterback hits, and 10 total pressures. And he still didn't play the whole game. So, I keep telling y'all, you got to plan around that man when he's on the field, which is insane in the NFL, but he's one of those guys. But all this aside, the only guy on that screen I see that won is that little beady-eyed guy in the corner there with the towel on, smiling. He won. I'm not sure what Parsons' cap hit was, but I bet it was big.
Hey, Craig, you nailed it for me, baby. Jerry Jones. Hey, have y'all been watching that? What is it? Netflix on Jerry
Yeah, I've
Jones?
seen it.
It's time for people to start giving Jerry Jones his due. I mean, he didn't lose. He didn't win. That means something to him. What you say, King?
I think short term, Green Bay won the trade. Long term is easy. Jerry Jones won it. You got 2 first-round picks and an All-Pro or Pro Bowler in return. So this is what Jerry Jones does. I mean, the Cowboys have sucked for a long time, but back when they were winning 3 Super Bowls, that's what happened. They got rid of a star player and got back a bunch of picks. So I think Green Bay won it short term. I think Green Bay's probably a slightly better team, but if Dak can stay healthy, I think and I've always kind of liked Jordan Love, but he is so streaky. I think at this point, man, I'd rather have Dak. You kind of know what you get every week with Dak. So I think the Cowboys are winning so far.
I love the way that you maneuver. Listen, it's a fluid game, man. You watch and you observe and you get more information, you make a decision. I was the same way on Dak. I was hard on Dak all these years. But I'm starting to get me a little respect for Dak. Dak is kind of like y'all gonna think this is a crazy comp, but he's almost like a poor man's Jalen Hurts. Never thought you'd hear that. Because they both solid. They just do what they need to do. Jalen just got a little bit more help. But Dak is a solid quarterback. What say you, Coach?
Of course, it's Jerry Jones that won this, because if I was Jerry Jones for Halloween, the first thing I say is, instead of trick or treat, is the Dallas Cowboys is just as good without Micah as they are with Micah.
Y'all boys too good. Havoc, what it do? Havoc, I went to you first on this 2 turn.
Yeah, I went first.
Yeah.
Before I answer this question, I just want to say how happy I am that I did fall asleep and not watch the second half of this game, because I'd have been pissed if I stayed up till 11 o'clock to watch a freaking tie. That's the only thing I hate about the NFL. There's no football game in the history of anything that should end in a damn tie, and the NFL needs to change that garbage.
I agree 100%.
I don't care if you go to freaking 2-point conversions. Find a way to end the game.
Yes.
Start kicking field goals from the 50.
Yes. Yes,
So,
I agree with y'all 100%.
I do think initially Jerry Jones won the trade just because not the checkers aspect of it, not chess. But when it comes to overall success and putting your team where they want to be when it matters, I think the Packers will win the trade in the long run, because even though Jordan Love is inconsistent, if Green Bay's defense ends up being dominant, Green Bay has a good run game, and Jordan Love's just got to be Jared Goff. He don't have to be superstar. He's got to be Jared Goff, and they could have a chance to win the Super Bowl at the end of the year or next year possibly. But so I do think long term the Packers will win the trade, but currently Jerry Jones won it 100% in my opinion.
The way that the Green Bay to me gonna win this trade is Parson, and I hope this don't happen, but Parson got to have a good game against the Philadelphia Eagles. If they go to the NFC Championship game, he's gonna have to be the one to beat the Eagles. Because right now, in my opinion, it looks like the Eagles are unbeatable.
And Barry, real quick, when you give away 2 first-round draft picks and a Pro Bowl player, if you don't win the Super Bowl, that's a bust.
100%. 100%. Man, I tell you what, y'all boys too damn good. If y'all didn't have careers doing what y'all doing, y'all boys be making a whole lot of money on TV. Check it out. Are the Dolphins ready to take off, or did they lose their main source of fuel? Steve Dalton.
Take off. Hey, I know we all seen the video last couple of weeks of Trey Taylor crew tractor. State? We talking about state property? This ain't no state property. It's private property. Hey, the Dolphins wasn't ready to take off nowhere. It don't matter if they had daggone Terrell Owens at wide receiver. They are destined for the basement of the AFC East, and that's where they're going to be. They're going to finish under my Patriots. The Dolphins wasn't ready to take off nowhere, Barry. Send it to somebody else.
Toss some sense into him, Craig.
I mean, you ever seen somebody smile so big they had their leg torn off? That should tell you everything you need to know about the Miami Dolphins right there. That dude literally was headed to Jacksonville, and his leg was headed to Tampa Bay, and he's smiling because he don't got to play for the Dolphins this year, and his contract's over. That should tell you everything you need to know.
King, what you got?
Man, are you kidding? The damn Dolphins ain't even made it to the airplane yet. They're terrible, man. Look, the only redeeming quality is they got the Hall of Fame quarterback too. The rest of them's garbage. So that's all I got to say.
I know, Coach. Hall of Fame too. Talk to me.
No, they ain't ready to take off at all, man. And to be honest, if I had this picture, I would have turned it into the old school Beastie Boys and had the dolphin crashed and all mangled up like an airplane. You ain't going nowhere. You can cancel them.
I know, have it like them.
Not a chance. The Dolphins aren't going to take off at all. The only place they're going to take off to is from Miami straight to Coach's dumpster juice tracker.
Damn, y'all rough. Oh, we got the number
Here's
one.
Here's one Dolphin.
We got
Here's
the number
one Dolphin
one.
enthusiast.
Yeah, the apologies too. Let it rip.
First off, I told y'all before the season that the Dolphins are going to flop like a dead fish. I called that before the season. I don't believe in that nerd they got as a head coach. I think he is a bigger fraud than half the people we've ever talked about. But it's a proven fact. You can't replace Tyreek Hill from an explosive standpoint. It is a proven fact that the Dolphins offense, since Tyreek has been in Miami, is better with him off the field versus on it as an offense in total. And you can check the numbers. I mean, it's there. The Dolphins are more efficient without Tyreek than they are with him. I mean, Jalen Waddle's rookie year, he had 1,000 yards. He was receiver one. Everybody else was garbage. Darren Waller surprised the hell out of me this week.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a great tight end for 2 or 3 years, and then he just went to crap out of nowhere to the point to where he got divorced and then retired and wanted to rap. And now he's back in the league. But Tua loves tight ends. I don't know if y'all remember Mike Gesicki. He was great with Tua, and Mike Gesicki
He had some good years with Tua.
Yeah, Mike Gesicki ain't done a damn thing since, and I don't know why that is. I don't know if maybe it was Tua was good for him, but Tua likes. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if it was just that, or maybe he's just don't have a quarterback where he's at now. I don't know where he's at. I hadn't heard with Mike Gesicki, but Tua likes tight ends. I will say, the Dolphins' schedule, like I said, they're going to flop. I don't think they're going to make any noise, but the next 5 games, the Dolphins have a chance to be 4-1. I mean, But, I mean, listen, they got the Panthers this week.
I'm with you. I put this slide on here for a reason.
They got the Panthers this week. That should be a win, unless Bryce Young just comes in and says, "You know what, Tua, I'm the best Bama QB, and I'm going to show you what it is."
Thank you. I'm picking Bryce to do that.
Then you play the Chargers. That's the game I'm banking on them losing. I don't see them beating the Chargers because I don't think their defense can stop the run. But then they go to the Browns. Mm-hmm. You don't know who the quarterback for the Browns is going to be that week. I would love for them to give Shedeur Sanders a chance so I can brag about how terrible he is when he gets his chance. And then they go down to these sorry-ass, barely alive, mangy birds down in Atlanta.
What? Now you done messed. You were doing good.
So then they play the Falcons. And then after that, you possibly play the Ravens without Lamar. So the only game that in my mind that's not winnable out of those is probably the Chargers game. But after those games, they play Buffalo, and then their season gets ended. So
I know this. I tell you one thing right now. I give 2 turn hell But the boy knows a little bit about football. And he do his little homework. Because
It's the foosball.
I do think they got a chance. They got a chance to make a run. Now, I don't think they'll do it.
I don't either.
But the opportunity is there. But you tripping about the Falcons, bro. The
Falcons had one good week. I ain't buying that Kool-Aid. Barry, man, 2 weeks ago they got 30-piece by the Panthers. I ain't buying that garbage. They beat Washington when Marcus Mariota's washed up self.
I still believe. Hey, listen, I want to give you guys to talk your shit to me. Beastly, you tripping. I'm going to make a statement, and y'all tell me if I'm tripping or not. Okay? And you started out, Beastly, you tripping, or, man, you really ain't tripping. Now, somebody said earlier about Lamar Jackson, what was going to happen to him with an injury. The last thing I heard was 2 to 3 weeks. Now, you go look at the schedules, run to your little computers, run to your phones, and look at what's coming. And you tell me, am I tripping when I say Ravens not making the playoffs? Who want to know?
Hey, I'll tell you something right here, Beast of Came. Not only is one of these things wrong, all of them.
Hold on. One at a time. I'm starting at the Ravens, then I'll go down. We're only doing Ravens not making the playoffs right now.
Okay, well, I'll tell you. Ravens not making the playoffs, I'm going with it. I think the Steelers are too far ahead already. Aaron Rodgers has been on the ayahuasca juice all fall long, and they're not going to lose. So Mike Tomlin gets it done again. Ravens are not making the playoffs. You're right.
Lonesome Tiger.
Have you seen, you talked about the schedule. I got it right here. The Texans, the Rams, the Bears, the Dolphins, the Vikings, the Browns, the Jets, and the Bengals. So you want to talk about a team that could go on a run. That's a pretty favorable looking schedule if you ask me. So I think you're tripping on the Ravens not making the playoff.
Craig, they 1-3.
I know. I'm telling you. I think you're tripping. 16 games. 16 games, Barry.
Okay. All right. Okay. Now remember, Craig, that's a great chance for them not to win the division.
Right.
You got to look at the other conference. You got to look at the other teams, the other divisions, and see how many of those teams are viable for the wild card. Go, King.
I'm going to go over my favorite Auburn fan here. I think the Ravens are going to make the playoffs. Their back-end schedule is ridiculously easy. When I look at the AFC, several years ago, we could point to the AFC having several just dominant teams in it. I just don't see that anymore, with the Chiefs downfall a little bit. You got the Bills in the AFC and the Steelers. Outside of that, I think the Ravens can be better than any other team in the AFC. So I think they're going to get it going with this schedule. I don't care if Lamar's hurt or not. I think that actually might help the Ravens win a few games because I think they have been a little too Lamar reliant. And I think they need to start feeding Derrick Henry a little more.
Ooh, we want to feed the Alabama. Chris and Tyler, I see. What's up, Coach?
No, Ravens out of it this year. Steelers are the one that's going to be in there. The way Aaron Rodgers is playing right now reminds me of Aaron Rodgers of old. If he gets hurt, it might change. But as of right now, I don't see the Ravens getting there.
I agree with you, Coach. And I know Habit's going to come in and stack on top of it. What you got?
The Ravens will make the playoffs. They won't win the division, but they'll make the playoffs. Now, here's why. Cooper Rush is a good backup. So missing Lamar for a couple of weeks, I think if Cooper Rush can win a couple games, they'll be fine. Cooper Rush was a backup for the Cowboys for a few years, so I'm pretty familiar with him. And you're tripping about the Ravens missing the playoffs. They'll get the wild card.
Okay. Tone, what you got, Two-Turn?
I don't think you're tripping. And the only way you are tripping is if the Ravens turn into the damn Tennessee Titans when Derrick Henry was there and they give that man 25 carries a game. Because if he don't get 25 carries a game, the Ravens ain't winning without Lamar. Period. In the story.
Now I will say, y'all, I'm banking on Lamar missing 3 games. Now, if he only misses 2 games, that can be a big difference in the NFL when you don't win your division.
But they gonna win this first game against these sorry Texans. They gonna win that one.
Well, I'm not so sure about that because, contrary to popular opinion, I think D'Amico is playing for his job. Now, you heard it first from me because y'all want to make it seem like it's bulletproof. But
no, it's just year 2.
It doesn't matter. At some
It does.
point,
He went to the playoffs year 1. He bought at least 3 years just from that.
We'll talk about that later. Colts are phony ponies. Steve Dalton.
Hey, I think they are. But here's the thing. Even though they are phony ponies, they're still going to make the playoffs. The division is absolute dumpster juice. The Tennessee Titans have a better chance winning at the Boys and Girls Club on Saturday afternoon. They're going to be fun, but they are phony ponies, and we'll see that in the divisional round.
But Kevin probably liked these Colts. Talk to him. You muted, KD.
I really don't. I don't like the Colts. I just can't. I can't buy them. I don't like their quarterback. I don't care how good he's been playing, whatever. But I think Jacksonville's going to win that division. I don't think the Colts are going to get in the wild card, but we'll see.
Wow, he don't even give him a wild card. What you got, Coach?
Colts are phony. I haven't had any faith in the Colts doing anything since they had Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison. So that tells you right then and there. When they had players like Adrian James, Joseph Adai, Dwight Freeney, the Colts made a believer out of me back in those days. Right now, the Colts ain't even the little ponies that you ride around on the fair that goes in a circle.
Well, I can tell you one thing. I got 2 more people left, and I know one of them think Colts are for real. Let's talk Havoc.
The Colts, they're not Super Bowl contenders, but I do think they'll make the playoffs. So that would make them a phony, I guess, because they're not a real threat. It's fool's gold. They'll probably one and done in the playoffs.
I'm actually, reason I call them phonies, I don't even think they're going to even make the playoff, but I'm pretty sure 2-turn would tell me different.
You're damn right. The Colts are for real. Y'all get out of here with this garbage. Man, the Colts are 1 play away from being undefeated. They were winning the whole game, and Stafford broke their heart. Come on, man. It is what it is. Daniel Jones has been resurrected. He's been resurrected. He got out of New York where he was getting his head bashed into the point that he was about to start throwing the Tua up. He got out. He got out. He's not doing it no more. He's locked in. The Colts are for real. Jonathan Taylor is for real. Their defense is not bad at all. The Colts are for real. They will make the playoffs. I don't know about winning the playoff games. That's hard for anybody to do, especially depending on the matchups. But when we get there, I damn sure will tell you if I think they will or not.
In the interest of time, I'm going to skip the last one, and I'm going to go here for a second. Can anybody want to tell me about a game that you're interested in seeing and why?
I'll go first, just because I want to hear you squeal. I'm going to go 49ers Rams because big, Mac Jones is back in the lineup after that garbage dumpster juice performance by Brock Purdy the last game against the Frog, as you called Trevor Lawrence, with his 3 turnover performance against Trevor Lawrence. Mac Jones is about to walk into the Los Angeles or wherever the Rams are located these days with no receivers, no Ricky Pearsall, no Jennings, no George Kittle, no Bosa on defense, and he's going to win this game. Mac Jones is going to walk in there and he's going to let it swing, and then Barry's going to have something else to say the next day. or he's going to tip his cap. But I don't think he can say anything if Mac wins this game without anybody besides Christian McCaffrey to throw the daggum ball to. Mac
You know,
Jones is about to let it swing.
the,
49ers by 10.
the interesting thing about all of these picks that with these Alabama quarterback is that they always come wrapped in a big ass excuse. They don't ever go out there and just play ball.
I'm not making an excuse.
There's always a little caveat. Whatever
If they lose, they lose. But I'm saying that if he beats the Rams without these receivers, he better get his flowers, is all I'm saying, because Matthew Stafford's got all the weapons in the world to throw to.
Okay, have it. Pick out one.
Okay. I got to go with. Yeah, Tony picked the best game. Yeah, that's the most interesting game. Especially with the way Mac Jones was playing before Purdy played last week. I'm not going to say that the 49ers will win, but I do think it'll be a competitive game. And yeah, I'm interested in that game for sure.
KD.
I'm most interested in the Patriots and Bills, man. That's number 1, number 2 in their division going at it.
Yep.
Absolutely, coach.
I totally agree with Katie on that one. I'm saying Patriots and Bills because I would like to see can Drake May really play a game and come out on top when he know he playing a quarterback going against a quarterback like Josh Allen, and it could be a shootout.
This could be great. This could be a huge pickup for Drake if he could beat Allen. What's up, Tiger?
I got the Buccaneers and the Seahawks. That's my game of the week. Division rivals, both 3-1. They're right there at it. I mean, that's a big game. We're going to find a lot about Baker, what he can do out on the West Coast. Going to a pretty hostile environment as NFL stadiums go.
Exactly.
See what kind of swagger he's got. Because, I mean, if one of these teams comes out, I mean, you're talking about number 1, number 2 seed then in the NFC. Because, I mean, everybody's talking about how great the Packers are. They're only 2-1 right now. So
and the Buccaneers, and I'm still not really truly believing in them Seahawks. Who was that? Sam Darnold? And but the Buccaneers are for real, man. They really try to play with them with the Eagles. So Baker Mayfield, man, it's time for Baker to get some respect. Hey, look, man, I see something. Hey. One of my favorite segments of the week, Mr. Wreaking Havoc himself. Holla at me, Havoc.
Yeah, so welcome to Wreaking Havoc, NFL Week 4. And so we got some top performances here. Matthew Stafford, 375 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. Then you got to give my quarterback some love too. Dak Prescott with 319 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. And then finally, not to be biased, but George Pickens, 134 yards and 2 touchdowns. So those were my players who wreaked havoc this week.
All right. Anybody else got anything on Wreaking Havoc real quick? Y'all good? Oh, I hear something.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, my first stop, we're going to go up and we're going to holler at the Baltimore Ravens because it seems to be a little bird guap all over the field out there. And it's got Lamar Jackson's name written all over it. The boys are 1-3 right now. They're going to miss the playoffs. You can't sit here and say that, oh, Lamar Jackson is hurt. We're going to put the ball in Derrick Henry's hands because everybody that wants to put the crown on his head, we don't know if he's going to fumble it when he's taking it off. So right now, everybody that's on that little Raven wagon, you better jump off of it because your boys are not going anywhere this year. It's going to be the biggest shock that everybody's got this year in pro football. Because right now, I'm saying it with Harbaugh and the rest of them, you Baltimore Ravens are straight trash. Now, on this next stop, I don't know which direction to go in. because I could smell the scent on one end of the United States, and the same scent was coming from the other end of the United States, and then I caught a whiff from another section of the United States. So I don't know who it's going to be. Is it going to be the Titans? Is it going to be the Jets? Or is it going to be the Saints? But all y'all boys are walking around here right now with sourdough bagels because all of you got a 0 in the win column. So to me, between those three teams, it don't even matter where y'all finish up because all three of y'all are straight trash. Now, I said it last week, and I'm going to say it again this week. What happened to Justin Fields? I was told that he was on a field trip at the landfill, but apparently he has put his permanent address at the landfill because right now the New York Jets are not just straight trash, but you boys are the juice that's coming out of the dumpster. So when your kids are going down the road and they seeing that little liquid dripping out of the truck, you tell them, kids, that's not jet fuel. That's the New York Jets entire football organization because you boys are straight trash. Now, I know y'all didn't play anybody, and that's totally understandable. So you say, well, coach, how can you put them on the list? Because there's no way you can pick up trash on any route and not stop in Jacksonville because until they prove me anywhere different, the Florida Gators, y'all are straight. Now, this one right here, it just broke my heart when I had to put the truck in reverse, back up into this driveway, this big old tailgate party, but it's trash everywhere. Kirby Smart, you're 1-7. That's like going to a cookout and trying to put 7 hamburgers on a flimsy paper plate with Mike Bobo's face on it. It's the worst thing I ever seen happen. To always want to come out and you wait till the burgers are burnt on the grill before you tried to make a burger. When you should have just got them when they were fresh off the grill in the first half of the game. I hate we always got to play that one condiment that you're going to always put on a burger. And that's the damn ketchup. And that's what we're always doing is putting all kind of ketchup on the burger when it comes to playing Alabama. But before I leave Athens with all these smart burgers that I dropped on the ground, it was a whole bunch of napkins on it. And each one of the napkins said, it's going to be an Alabama blowout. Well, I'm glad y'all wiped your mouths with them when you decided to throw it down. But as of right now, the performance that I got out of my Georgia Bulldogs this past Saturday, man, we straight trash.
Steve Dalton.
Hey.
Steve Dalton. Take us out, baby.
Hey, what a show. Always a great show when the Chopping Block podcast comes around via Facebook or via YouTube. And who knows what we will see on Saturday afternoon. I guess our week starts tomorrow with the NFL, but Saturday afternoon we'll see a lot about what everybody's talking about, what they're worth. So check back with us next Wednesday night here on the Chopping Block podcast. Barry, send us home.
Yeah, we about to do it. Watch us